part we are. North-south about 60 kilometers, but there is a narrow part far east of the island that is only 12 kilometers. So it's like narrow and long island. Very mountainous. We have 4 big mountains, of the highest in Greece actually. The highest is Mount Ida. It is about an hour and a half further west. Silori, this is called for the locals, which means high mountain, 2,456 meters. The second highest, only a couple of meters lower, is in the west side of Crete, the White Mountains, just 2-3 meters lower. The south part, Asterousia, and finally on the east, Mount Picti, about 1,200 meters, the highest peak. So it is a mountainous area, but we have also the area we're going today will give you a very good idea of the vineyards and the olive trees. But besides these that are the 2 major products and always have been, name it really and you can find it. I mean, all kinds of vegetables and fruits, great production of oranges and lemons in various parts. We grow bananas, the Cretan bananas. If you happen to see the grocery stores, the small ones are for the island. But because of the microclimate also, it's really a great fertile area with a very good quality of the industry was never developed. We import everything of the industrial products. Lack of raw materials, but also due to all the occupations and wars we had until later in our history, there was not time to deal with industry. That's why it's agriculture, the number one. Then is shipping. It's a really great, strong tradition we have for centuries. Very long coastline, about 1,054 kilometers, all around the island, unique beaches. That's why a lot of people visit the island, but also hiking always has been known. We have a lot of gorges. Actually, one of the most beautiful in Europe is here in Crete, the Samaria Gorge in the west, but we have many more, smaller also of that, and really range, the sheep and goats. The whole island has a population of about 600,000 people. 4 major cities, the biggest is here, Heraklion, 200,000 people is the population. In the west we have the city called, and the smallest on the east, I use Nikolaos and Nicholas, about 25,000. Then the rest are in the villages, the valleys, up in the mountains. We're going first a little further away, an area called Peza, where is the Miliarakis winery, which is actually one of the first founded on the island. This Miliarakis winery, we're going first there.
Yeah.
On the right in Mount Ida, the white you see is snow. We have always snow on the mountains from usually end of November and usually until early June. You can see the snow. This year though was not good. We have very little, and that's a problem for irrigation, because when the snow melts it's very important for agriculture, and they have dams to fill them up, especially when of course the rain, but also the snow. But this winter was not good at all. Very little snow and not so much of rain. First civilization in Europe, in the West. But only if we start talking about the mythology, someone can understand that is really an old place. According to the Greek mythology, Crete was the birthplace of Zeus. Mythology says that the first god of the universe always would protect his island. And again, tradition says that he had made a giant of bronze, famous Talos. It's mentioned to be the first kind of a robot, but he had though this legend, because for centuries Crete did not have any enemies at all, didn't have wars with this great civilization called Minoan. The name is given, again mythology, from King. Again tradition says that once Zeus saw a very beautiful girl called Europe, plagued by the beaches of the area called Phoeniki, today the area of Lebanon. She was a princess, very beautiful, wanted to have her, so he turned himself into a bull and stopped next to Europe. The princess wanted to pet the animal, went very close, and so Zeus kidnapped her and brought her here in his homeland, the island of Crete, and the south of Crete, the ancient city of Wardis, under the very famous evergreen Cretan plane tree, was abduction of Europe. And then Europe gave birth to 3 boys, Minos, Rhadamanthys and Sarpedon, the first 3 mythical kings of Crete. Minos was the most powerful, so the whole period of this unique civilization that was from 2600 BC until one of the 4 we said. There are the fractal areas, all the trees you see practically are olive trees. All is synonymous to Greece because it's this legend that the first olive tree was planted on the Acropolis of Athens from goddess Athena. Start around November here in Crete, going up north and part of Greece. Usually end of January they picked up olives all over. To do that they put a net underneath the tree. They shake, practically they beat the trees with sticks, collect the olives, go and understand with the vivid green color are the vineyards. Traveled everywhere, and they would have the commerce around the Mediterranean, mostly Asia Minor, and came in touch with the great civilizations that were developed there. Because the first civilizations, civil wars among his generals, Ptolemy of Egypt, Cleopatra was the most famous. So all these areas we're driving were inhabited all this period. Now this is the area called Peza. It's one of the greatest unions of farmers. The installations is on the left over there for wine, and which was the first on the island, of the first, if not the first of the old first wineries. We had Minos, the brand of the winery. We're going there. I'll show you where the we finish when you be ready. Bus will be safe. Driver stays with the bus all the time.
Hi.